in West Palm Beach, it was a first for the Senior Professional League, a televised game here on the Prime Network. Joe Hicks got it started for the Gold Coast Suns with a base hit off Ray Burris. Gold Coast took an early 1-0 lead. Later in the ball game, it was Ron Washington banging out a base hit. This tied it for Dick Williams's ball club, the West Palm Tropics. It was tied 3-3. But then the rains came in West Palm Beach. We had another first, our first leapfrog contest in the Senior League. The game went to extra innings. In the 12th inning, Rodney Scott with a base hit to left center. It drove home Jerry White with the winning run, and the West Palm Beach Tropics defeated the Gold Coast Suns 4-3. In sunny St. Petersburg, Florida, I'm Tommy Hutton, along with Gary Carter once again as we bring you the ball game between the Orlando Juice and the St. Petersburg Pelicans. We've traveled a little west across the state of Florida from our initial start on Friday night in West Palm Beach. And Gary, look at the managers in this ball game, a couple of different type managers. Gates Brown for the Orlando Juice.
Well, Gates Brown, a premier pinch hitter during his time with the Detroit Tigers. He's looking to work some of the kinks out. He's 2-2 at this point, ready to take on the 4-0 Pelicans.
Well, the 4-0 Pelicans have a manager who's been tough, Bobby Tolan.
Bobby Tolan has been tough. He's running a tight ship here. He's having the guys shave all their mustaches, and he has aspirations of wanting to be a major league manager. He's 4-0 right now.
How about a couple of the players we'll be focusing on in the ball game today? Kenny Landreaux of the Orlando Juice, a good left-handed hitter with a nice swing.
Yes, he does. And also a great hitter with the Minnesota Twins and LA Dodgers. Had a 31-game hitting streak one time. Recently released by the Baltimore Orioles. Went on to play at Albuquerque in AAA. Definitely has that burning desire left to play in Major League Baseball.
Well, Ricky Henderson and Dave Henderson play for the world champion Oakland Athletics. We'll see Steve Henderson today.
Absolutely. Here another guy that has great aspirations of wanting to play in the Major League level. Last played for the AAA Pirates. A great hitter during his time, looking to get back into the Major Leagues as well.
A couple of left-handers as far as the pitching matchup in the ball game today. Bob Shirley and Jon Matlack. Why don't you talk about those two?
Bob Shirley, a crafty left-hander, last pitched for the New York Yankees, and Bob was tough on left-handers, had a master changeup as well as a great sinking fastball. And again, Jon Matlack, great pitcher with the New York Mets, Texas Rangers, retired at an early age, coming back here and pitching for the Pelicans.
And we'll look forward to seeing it this afternoon from St. Petersburg, Florida at Al Lang Field, the Orlando Juice and the St. Petersburg Pelicans.
Really capture the action and drama of the game.
Back again at beautiful Al Lang Field, which serves as the spring home for the St. Louis Cardinals. But right now it's Prime Network time, and it's time for senior baseball. It's the Orlando Juice invading St. Petersburg to take on the St. Petersburg Pelicans. As the umpires, Ed Murray behind the plate, Larry Walding and Gus Klein. Let's take a look at the lineups for the Orlando Juice, managed by Gates Brown. U.L. Washington at second base. Davey Cash is the third baseman. Bill Madlock, the DH. Ken Landreaux in center field. Ike Blessit, the left fielder. Jose Cruz at first base. Tom Paciorek will be playing. Larvell Blanks, the shortstop, and Sal Butera behind the plate. The defense for Bobby Tolan's Pelicans, Gary Rajsich, Jerry Martin, and Steve Henderson in the outfield. Lenny Randle at third base. Louis Gomez, the shortstop. Sergio Ferrer at second. Alan Bannister at first base. Butch Benton, who's in remarkable shape, is the catcher. And on the mound, 39-year-old left-hander Jon Matlack. Well, we have gone from West Palm Beach, where Gary Carter and I were on Friday night. We have headed about, I'd say about a 3.5-hour drive from West Palm here to St. Petersburg. And hopefully we will not get the rain that we saw in West Palm Friday night. A beautiful afternoon, 83 degrees, just a slight wind coming off Tampa Bay, which is just beyond the left field fence here at Al Lang Field. Let's run down those umpires again. Ed Murray behind the plate, Larry Walding at first base, and Gus Klein, the umpire, at third. And you probably noticed just one change in the Senior Professional League. We have 3 umpires as opposed to the 4 during a normal Major League Baseball game. But the 3 umpires that we saw the other night, home plate umpire Gary had a few problems behind the plate, but on the most part, they're doing their job.
They are doing their job, and I'm thinking that they're going to continue to improve as time goes on.
So far in this series, the Orlando Juice and Pelicans have gone at it, but as you can see, the Pelicans have played excellent baseball. Here's a look at the standings in the Northern Division. The Pelicans have not been defeated. They're 4-0. Orlando with that 2-2 mark. Bradenton, the Explorers, and the Winter Haven Super Sox, each at 1-3. Over in the Southern Division, the West Palm Tropics got a game-winning home run from Toby Harrah in the 9th inning last night to remain undefeated. They're 4-0. Fort Myers 3-1. St. Lucie and Gold Coast and Earl Weaver still looking for that first win of the season.
Yes, he is. Having a tough time. That's not like Earl going and starting off at 0-4.
All right, pitching for the Pelicans is left-hander Jon Matlack. And Gary, every time I think of Jon Matlack, and when I saw him today, had a chance to talk to him a little bit, he was kind of lost in the shuffle with the Mets. You always heard of Jerry Koosman and Tom Seaver, but Matlack, an extremely tough left-hander.
He really was, Tommy, and I am proud to say that my first Major League hit was off of Jon Matlack. When I first faced him, he had a good live fastball, a great breaking ball. He reminds me a little bit of like a Steve Carlton, and he stayed with the Mets and was traded off to the Texas Rangers and retired at an early age.
You know, you bring up a name, Steve Carlton. Many players that I talked to today wondered where Steve Carlton is. They thought that maybe he would pitch in the Senior Professional League, but in talking with Randy Lurch, who pitches for the Pelicans, Randy, a pretty good friend of Steve Carlton's, he said that he has talked to him. He lives in Florida right now, but he just hasn't gotten over that transition. He still is too close to the major leagues, even though he probably will never pitch there again, yet he doesn't want to pitch here in the senior league yet.
I think eventually he probably will. He's got so much of baseball in his blood, obviously with the way he wanted to continue playing in his major league career. And knowing lefty, he'll be back out here. He's always kept himself in such great shape, as well as we see Jon Matlack right now, who also looks like he's in great shape. And I would say not too long up the way, you'll see Steve Carlton back and playing in the senior league.
Well, Jon Matlack at 39 years of age started 318 games in the major leagues as Gates Brown looks like. I tell you the funniest story I read about Gates as you check out his shape. Gates about the way he played the last 2 or 3 years. But the other day, about a week or so ago, when he was making cuts, he was forced to cut a player because he was overweight. And that player, by the way, was J.R. Richard.
Yes, and that's the thing that they're really looking for in this league. They don't want guys to be out of shape. They don't want to have any problems with some of the injuries that have occurred. And with J.R. Richard's case, he was throwing the ball really hard. But, Tommy, they just didn't want him to be over 300 pounds.
All right, the leadoff man for the Juice. And yes, he has the toothpick.
Yes,
UL Washington.
Yes, he does.
UL, a fine infielder, a switch hitter. Saw him a little bit with the Montreal Expos.
Here again, a versatile type player, can play all the infield positions.
Matlack goes to work, and Washington, realizing that Matlack has good control, goes after the first pitch. Strike one, and we're underway here in St. Pete.
Boy, what a beautiful day today, Tommy. A little bit different. We started off with such a gorgeous evening and then had the rain delay, but what a great day today.
To third base, a diving stab by Lenny Randle, but he can't quite get it there in time. Well, we have seen the versatility of a lot of players. You mentioned UL Washington. Lenny Randle, Gary, the same type of player, can play all over, and he showed some good range on that hard ground ball.
Boy, he sure did. He made a great play. He had a little bit of a tough time getting up to his feet to throw the ball, but and get it out of his glove there. And with the speed of UL Washington, beat it out.
I have to remind you, though, we talked about the beautiful weather early in the game in West Palm Beach before the rains came.
That's true. That's true. So we won't say anything. All right.
Davey Cash, the hitter, and Davey just switched uniforms. Just yesterday, he was released by the Pelicans. A tough job for Bobby Tolan, releasing Dave Cash, but he signed with Gates Brown and the Orlando Juice.
Exactly. And playing in place of Kenny Reitz, I believe, today.
Matlack, seeing UL Washington with a pretty good lead at first, decides to go over there.
And also Kenny Reitz' ribs, he said, were bothering him a little bit. Had a little bit of a slight pull that he did in batting practice. So Dave Cash in there today.
There goes Washington on a hit and run. Cash the other way with it, but second baseman Sergio Ferrer able to get back to field the slow roller.
You know, Tommy, that's what's so great to see so far is these managers as well in West Palm Beach, seeing Dick Williams and Earl Weaver getting the runners moving and doing a little hit and run action.
Well, 4 times this gentleman was a batting title winner. Bill Madlock to step in. A lifetime .305 hitter is UL Washington, stands at second base. Started to dance around a little bit, and Matlack, out of the corner of his eye, caught him.
Yes, he did.
Runner will do that, and if the pitcher doesn't catch him and a runner can get that bouncing lead, he'll take off for the base. In the air to left field, but pulled foul. 0-1 to Bill Madlock.
Mad Dog, as he was known, some kind of hitter, Hut.
Always had that short stroke. How'd you like your pitchers to throw to him?
Try to pitch him in tight, try and make him fight the ball off, leave the ball out of the plate. He was going to drive it somewhere.
He drives that one over the head of Lenny Randle, and this should score UL Washington. Madlock trying for second base, and he is nailed. So the Pelicans pull off a fine relay throw to get Madlock trying to stretch a single into 2, but they pick up a run and they lead 1-0.
What a great throw. Gary Rajsich over in the corner. What a great throw to second base. Ferrer taking the throw, and the Mad Dog out there at second base. Once again, Tommy, Bill Madlock showing that he can still hit.
Yes, he can. A relay throw completed by shortstop Louis Gomez, so the play goes 7-6-4. And here's Ken Landreaux. Up high with a fastball, ball 1. So Madlock gets the base hit off Matlack. We won't play around with that one too much.
No.
Talking about Kenny Reitz, who, even though he is slightly injured with that shoulder problem, he's coaching at first base.
Yes, he is.
Talked about Landreaux briefly on our opening, and he did have a sweet swing. Hit the ball well, the opposite field, occasional power. Good breaking pitch by Matlack, and the count 1-2.
He's one of those guys that he didn't come out of his realm. He stayed within himself, and like you were saying, had that real pretty swing.
I think he went around as Matlack deals him another fine breaking pitch. He's out on strikes, and the Juice pick up a run in the top half of the first inning on 2 base hits. So we'll go to the bottom of the first as we check out the scenery in St. Petersburg. Orlando leading 1-0, and you're watching senior baseball here on the Prime Network. Field in St. Petersburg as the Orlando Juice has taken a 1-0 lead over the Pelicans of St. Pete on the base hit by Bill Madlock. Let's check in on the Pelicans lineup as I watch Bobby Tolan fill it out this morning. Lenny Randle leading off at third base. Alan Bannister, the first baseman. Gary Rajsich finds himself in left field. Steve Henderson, the cleanup hitter, is the right fielder. Butch Benton, the catcher. Mark Corey, the DH. Jerry Martin, center field. At second base, Sergio Ferrer. And little Louis Gomez is the shortstop. Cruz, Landreaux, and Blessit in the outfield for Orlando. Dave Cash, Larvell Blanks on the left side of the infield. UL Washington, the second baseman. Tom Paciorek at first. Sal Butera calling the pitches for left-hander Bob Shirley. So a couple of left-handers, Gary Carter, Bob Shirley, Jon Matlack, but different type left-handers.
They really are. Jon Matlack, more of a power pitcher, and Bob Shirley, more of a finesse pitcher. When he was with San Diego, he came up with that great changeup.
Well, he tries to finesse to the leadoff man, Lenny Randle, and the first pitch is a strike, 0-1. So each pitcher here this afternoon, 39 years of age, as Randle takes up high for 1-1 count. Lenny Randle, a switch hitter, and again, a very versatile type player. Pops it in the air. UL Washington back, but he's called off by the center fielder, Kenny Landreaux. We talked about Landreau's hitting, but Landreaux also can roam the outfield very well.
Boy, he really can. He can cover a lot of ground.
I would have to say probably the toughest manager in assessment of the talent was Bobby Tolan. I mean, he's been tough with the way he's handled the ball club once it was put together. As Alan Bannister steps in.
Yes, he was. You know, he really came down here with a great deal of enthusiasm, wanting to really win this whole thing.
So far, he hasn't lost either.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't lost. Plus, he wanted to prove that he can be a major league manager.
A 2-0 pitch to Alan Bannister. Alan Bannister, in his major league career, spent a lot of time with the Chicago White Sox. Initially came up with the Philadelphia Phillies organization.
I remember him back when he played for Kennedy High School in the Freeway League back when I was there, and pitching against him, he had 2 home runs off of me.
This will not be a home run at Al Lang Field unless they've changed the dimensions. Dave Cash with the catch, and there are 2 out.
Alan was some kind of player in high school, and he was reportedly signed for an $85,000 bonus.
Wait a minute, though.
Okay.
Did he remember the 2 home runs in high school off you?
I didn't ask him. I didn't ask him. I didn't want to ask him.
Speaking of home runs, this man did not hit a lot of home runs in the major leagues. Gary Rajsich, partly because he never really got that great opportunity, but he has power. He hit one over 400 feet the other night, so he has hit one in the senior league.
Well, he did have some great power. I remember him at Tidewater, and just never did get too much of an opportunity in the major leagues.
Gary Rajsich also, in his time in the major leagues, was a platoon player, so here he finds himself in the senior professional league batting against the lefty, Bob Shirley, and he throws him the breaking pitch that catches the inside corner. So Shirley has a relatively easy first inning, a 1-2-3 inning. One inning has been played in St. Pete. The Orlando Juice lead the St. Pete Pelicans 1-0 as you're watching.
Any pitch anywhere.
The thing that always amazed me about Jose Cruz as he questions the call of Ed Murray, home plate umpire.
That same look. Like, how can you call a strike on me?
I'm amazed at the way he holds his hands. That familiar lift of the front leg, but he gets the bat right to the baseball.
Yes, he does. A pure hitter. Could hit the ball all over the place.
1-1 pitch. 2-1 to Jose Cruz.
Most of the time a high fastball hitter. Didn't like the breaking ball too much. Always tried to set him up with a breaking ball and bust the fastball up and in.
Hard ground ball. Knocked down by Alan Bannister. The race to the bag, and Cruz wins.
There was a mistake on Jon Matlack's part. Not covering first base. A hard hit ball to Alan Bannister. But here you'll see the pitch. Fastball in, up a little bit. Like I said, that Cheo loves to hit it. Hard smash to Alan Bannister, foot race. Cheo beats him. But where was Jon Matlack? Huh?
Well, one of the complaints is that the 2-week period that the players had to get in shape at this age of 35 and over really wasn't enough. So they didn't have time probably to work on that pitcher covering first base very often.
That's very true. Here
is Tom Paciorek taking strike 1 from Matlack.
And the other great impressions, too. Billy Crystal, you look marvelous, darling.
Picked off at first is Cheo, and he'll just get the tag slapped on him by Alan Bannister. So Cheo was going, and Matlack knew it, and he gets the pickoff. 2 away.
Boy, he was dead to right. Look at this. Cheo, he didn't know if he was coming or going. I don't think he was really going on the pitch, Tommy. He was just picked off big time and not happy with it.
So they're 2 away as Paciorek is still the hitter. Nobody on base, and a 1-0 lead for the Orlando Juice against the St. Pete Pelicans. Off-speed pitch is pulled. Lenny Randle making the play, cutting in front of Louis Gomez, and they're 3 away. So that does it for the Juice here in the second. An inning and a half has gone by in St. Pete. The Juice lead the Pelicans 1-0 as you are watching senior professional baseball on the Prime Network.
In fact, he just happened to be up here in the booth with us, and he said he's out of here.
Steve Henderson takes up high, ball 1, and you mentioned, Gary, that Steve still has aspirations of returning to the major leagues, and if he continues this .529 batting average, he has a good chance.
He is a great competitor, Hut, and when I saw him at the AAA level, when I went down there for my rehab, he had gotten his arm broken, hit by a pitch, I believe, and he was just coming back, starting to rehabilitate himself.
It's 1-1. We talked about Sal Butera. The other catcher on the Orlando Juice is Bruce Bochy. So this ball club with a couple of fine backstops. 1-1. 2-1 as Matlack misses with the slider.
Talking about Bruce Bochy, as big as he was very, very agile behind the plate. I just didn't know how he got down in that catcher's position sometime with those big legs. But he did a great job for the San Diego Padres and New York Mets.
Two-1 pitch to UL Washington. A foul ball evens the count, 2-2. Yeah, you could always picture Tony Pena in that crouch and in that stance that he would get himself in behind the plate, because he's a much smaller receiver than Bruce Bochy. But when Bochy got in that position, you almost said, how does he do it?
I don't know. Even like a guy like Pudge Fisk, he's 6'4", and he gets down real low.
2-2 pitch. Nice stop by Butch Benton as we continue our conversation about catchers.
Outstanding stop. That's the way you want to block a ball. Throw your whole body in front of it. Here's a pitch down in the dirt. Oh, just great fundamentals. Got his glove down low to keep it from going through his legs. Ball hit him right in the chest protector. Bent over a little bit, and the ball hit him right up there around the chest. Dropped right in front of him. What a great block.
So the count's full now, 3-2 to UL Washington. And it stays 3-2.
Hanging tough. Hut, why do you think UL Washington uses that toothpick? Didn't he say at one time that it relaxes him?
Yeah, have you ever heard of a pacifier for a little baby? That's the same thing. UL Washington cannot go on the field unless he has that toothpick. He just feels comfortable.
It always makes you feel that he just got through eating something.
We don't suggest that for youngsters to go, Mom, can I have a toothpick? I need to go out and play a little ball.
Oh. Most guys will have some chewing gum or some chewing tobacco or something, and UL has the toothpick.
Dentists recommend the toothpick
instead of the chewing tobacco, that's for sure.
Called third strike as Butera was running, and Benton throws it into center field. They would have had Sal Butera by 25 feet at second base, but the throw by Butch Benton went into center field. And coming in to score is Larvell Blanks, and it's 2-0 Orlando.
Here's a pitch that I don't think Butch was in real good position. It was almost like a delayed steal by Sal Butera. Would have had him by, like you said, 20-some-odd feet. And instead, the run scores. Butch gets the error on it. I just don't think he was in real good position with it, Tommy.
Davy Cash stands in with one away and fouls it off. And that brings up a question that I was going to ask you before we get into our toothpick conversation. Why did Butch Benton not spend more time in the major leagues?
I guess a lot of it had to do with his batting average. I think his lifetime totals were something like 162. Never did get much of an opportunity to play, but I think that was his drawback. He always did a great job behind the plate, though. Other than that throw into center right there.
As Davy Cash looks at ball one, 1-1 the count. You see these players in the senior professional league. As I look at Davy Cash, see him wearing number 4, and sometimes things just don't fit. Dave Cash for so many years wore number 30, but UL Washington wearing that, so they couldn't have two number 30, so Davy donned the number 4.
Didn't have too much of a choice. He was just happy to be here. One of those cases, getting released by the Pelicans and coming over here to the Juice. Nothing would be sweeter for Davy to be on a winning team today to break these 4-0 Pelican streak.
2-1 pitch back to the mound. Matlack checked Butera, thought about throwing, then decided to get the sure out.
I think he had a chance at Sal Butera, but he didn't really want to go after him because Sergio Ferrer, he would have had to lead him like a quarterback leading a wide receiver, so he just decided to take the easy out at first base.
I don't know if he had time to think about all these things, so we do because we're up here, but the other thing you can add to that is Sal Butera does not run well at all. He has those catcher's wheels.
And are you getting on catcher's wheels again?
And even should Steve Henderson pick up a base hit, which he probably won't get the chance to because they're going to put him on, but it'd be tough for Butera to score. Now, his family and friends are probably going to write me and say, come on, how can you get on Sal Butera that way? But Sal would admit that, and I had a nice talk with him before the game.
I'm getting on you because you're getting on catchers again. Doggone it. I know I can't run. So what? It's all them crouches behind the plate.
Going with the percentages, Bobby Tolan instructing Matlack and his catcher Butch Benton to walk Kenny Landreaux, or walk Bill Madlock to get to Kenny Landreaux. Well, I guess you walk that 4-time batting title winner to get to the lefty. That's a very easy move to figure out.
Yes, you do. Mad Dog giving a laugh over there to Bobby Tolan. Thank you very much.
You know what he told me before the game, Madlock? He said this is almost too much for him. He didn't think it would be this intense. He came down expecting to have some fun and hit the ball a little bit. He said these guys are serious.
They really are. And these Orlando Juice are serious enough that they've got a 2-0 lead.
So Landreaux up there with 2 down. The Juice leading 2-0. So we have to commend the efforts of Philip Breen, the old owner of the Orlando Juice. He's put together a pretty good ball club.
Yes, he has. And I believe he's probably watching in Detroit on pass.
Wonder if it's 83 degrees in Detroit.
I don't think so. Here's a great breaking ball by Jon Matlack. Big swing by Kenny.
One pitch. Landreaux, who struck out in the first inning, struck out on a breaking ball, so Madlock trying to stay with the same stuff.
Absolutely. He held up his swing on that first time up. Didn't try to swing, but went around enough.
Stays inside. Now, if that's an inch or two more over the plate, Landreaux has a rip. Counts 3-1 with runners at first and second base, 2 out here in the top half of the 3rd inning. Three and one. Landreaux may sit on a fastball. He hasn't seen any of them, I don't think, in this at bat. He sees one and rolls it foul. We mentioned Philip Breen, the owner of the Orlando Juice. Jim Morley, the founder of the Senior Professional League, is the owner of the St. Pete Pelicans. And I understand Jim Morley, sometime during our telecast today, will be up and chat with Gary and I.
I can't wait to ask him the question how this idea of the Senior League dawned on him while he's laying in Australia on a beach.
I don't know, koala bear maybe went by, I don't know.
I can think of a few other things on a beach passing the time than a league such as this, but what a great idea.
3-2 with the runners going, and once again, Madlock strikes out Ken Landreaux. So the intentional pass to Madlock pays off for Matlack. And we'll go to the bottom of the third inning with the Juice leading the Pelicans 2-0. You're watching Senior Professional Baseball.
Jerry in great shape.
Jerry came up in the Philadelphia Phillies organization. Jerry, 40 years of age. Also played for the San Francisco Giants, the Cubs, Kansas City, and briefly with the Mets. 2-2 the count now to Jerry Martin. And I'm just having fun having a chance to see old teammates. Played with Jerry Martin in the Philadelphia Phillies organization.
Oh, I hate that.
Nothing changes. Even in the Senior League, this happens.
I hate that. Oh, my, those foul tips. He's telling the trainer, get back, as any catcher would. All those foul tips that you take, those Pac-Man biters on the legs. Oh, those are the favorite. Might have got him in the groin area.
Sal's been around long enough that he knows if it's really serious or not. He waving off Bill Cooper, the trainer, saying it's okay. Martin with a big rip and comes up empty. So Bob Shirley makes it 7 in a row, his third strikeout, and the Pelicans have yet to get a base runner.
Sal still limping a little bit. No, it doesn't get any easier, Hut. God bless all the catchers that have ever caught in any league.
Second baseman Sergio Ferrer will be the batter. They're not having any fun. One hopper back to Shirley. The lob to Paciorek in time.
I still think they're having fun, though. They're 4-0 right now.
Yeah, Bill Lee even claimed that, yeah, there's some players who've come up to me and said they don't want to play for Bobby Tolan. They want to play for me, but the Pelicans deny that. They're having fun because, as you said, they're undefeated. But right now they trail 2-0. And 2-0. Bobby Tolan not all that happy.
Not right now. Jerry's part.
Tom Paciorek going to the longest part of this field. And watch Jerry get it.
Cruising back. Always keeping his eye on the ball. Makes a great over-the-shoulder catch.
You know, an interesting story concerning Jerry Martin as Larvell Blanks steps in. Jerry Martin, a draft pick of the Philadelphia Phillies many, many years ago, was really only signed by the Phillies because of his brother. His brother, Mike Martin, was their #1 pick.
Oh, really?
Left-handed pitcher. And they said, well, we'll sign your brother. We know he's a good athlete. And Jerry went on to have a Major League career. Mike, I don't believe, ever appeared in a Major League game.
I don't remember the name.
Larvell with a shot, but a foot foul down the left field line. They count 1-2. So Jon Matlack, in his 5 innings of work, gave up 8 hits and 5 runs. 4 of the runs were earned. He had 3 strikeouts. Now it's Sammy Stewart evening the count to Larvell Blanks, 2-2.
What number?
Now it's 3-2 to Larvell, who doubled down the left field line in the 4th inning. Out of play. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. It was really nice talking with Jim Morley, the president, or at least founder, I guess we could call him, of the Senior Professional League and the owner of the Pelican team. Certainly is bright-eyed and very excited about the initial week of this season.
He really is, as well as we are, to be here on Prime Network, giving it all to you.
Three-two pitch by Sammy Stewart. Slider stays up and in. Ball 4. So Larvell has been on base all 3 times. He reached on an error and scored in the 3rd inning, doubled and scored in the 4th. And now with 1 out here in the 6th, he is walked.
Oh, man, might have gotten away from Sammy a little bit. Ooh. Shows you the instincts of Sal Butera right there, as well as Butch Benton throwing down to first base, but getting out of the way of that ball. That was coming right at his head. Sammy Stewart, when he first came up, Hut, I believe, struck out the first 7 guys he faced.
It's a good way to break in.
That's a very good way.
Gallo left. In comes Gary Rajsich for the catch. 2 away. Former major leaguer, former major league manager, now coaching with the Philadelphia Phillies, Larry Boa, lives in this area. He comes out occasionally. He spends time between here and Philadelphia. So it's a great atmosphere.
It really is.
Actually, right now, not so great for Bobby Tolan and the Pelicans, though. They trail 5-0 here in the 6th. Stewart misses, and as we heard Bobby Tolan tell Sammy Stewart, he's in there for the duration.
He's in there for the duration. That's got to be a tough feeling for a pitcher, knowing he's coming in down 5-0. He's got to go the rest of the way.
The runner going on the pitch fouled off by UL Washington. Count stays 2-2. To talk about a couple of the players who are not in the starting lineup. The Pelicans have Steve Kemp, who has a slight growing pull, and he's not able to play today. He's not happy about that at all either. He wanted his kids too to be watching out in California.
That's correct. That's Stephanie and Christopher. So we're hoping you're watching today. Even though you're not getting to see your dad play, you can see him cheering in the dugout.
Bank McBride, Dwight Lowry, Roy Howell, also on the roster of the St. Pete Pelicans. UL Washington draws the walk, so Sammy Stewart has come in. He's gotten a couple of outs on fly balls, but he's walked 2. Runners at first and second, 2 out for Dave Cash. He is not just a coach in name only. Doc also pitched an inning of relief last night. Well, we don't have Doc mic'd, so we don't know what he's telling Sammy Stewart. He's probably saying, hey, big guy, remember what Bobby Tolan, your manager, told you? You're in there for the duration. So get the ball down. Let's get out of here.
And throw strikes. Doc, the author of a no-hitter, pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
There's Gates Brown looking on and happy right now with a 5-0 lead over the Pelicans. What a pinch hitter. Gates Brown over 100 career pinch hits and near 20 lifetime pinch hit home runs. Another fastball misses. Field, Cash has a base hit. Coming in to score is Larvell Blanks. He'll cross the plate and make it 6-0 Orlando as UL Washington moves to third on Dave Cash's RBI single. Along with Dick Williams, now manager of the West Palm Tropics.
And in Montreal, oh, did he ever throw some great batting practice, Hut. Oh, I loved hitting off of Oz.
Benton and Shirley continue their battle, and the count stays 1-2.
As we take a look at the Pelican ball girl.
Somehow her play looked better than Ozzie Virgil.
I think so. And of course, the cameraman loved going on to that angle.
We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 6-0 Orlando, but the Pelicans for the first time have a rally going off Bob Shirley. Just inside, the count evens 2-2. Keep in mind, Bob Shirley through the first 6 innings had a perfect game. What a picture. That may be our next logo.
That's it. Prime Network with a pretty Florida ball girl.
The action continues in the Orlando bullpen as the count runs full to Butch Benton, 3-2.
At least it must be a good feeling for Gates Brown to have some guys that can come out of the bullpen.
Roll to first. Paciorek bobbles. He'll decide to just get one. So the Pelicans get on the scoreboard as Benton rolls one to first. They have one, but Orlando still has 6. And with 2 out, the batter will be Mark Corey.
The thing about it is that you can get a lot of strike pitches for a pitcher on a given day.
All right, Zambito working to Jose Cruz. A couple of guys who were teammates with the Astros. This time, Zambito gets the better of Cruz on the pop fly to second. 2 out.
But like I was saying, there's a lot of times a catcher can get a lot of pitches for a pitcher because of the way he's handling the pitches on that given day. And as I was saying earlier about Joe Zambito, he says today his arm is feeling better than ever. And as an indication so far in this inning stint that he's working. But a catcher is very important back behind that plate.
Tom Paciorek steps in. Skies one, shallow right. Can Steve Henderson get to it? No, he can't. Paciorek with a bloop single to right field sends Ike Blessit to third base. Runners at first and third now, and 2 away for the Orlando Juice as Tom Paciorek picks up his first hit today. He's 1 for 4.
Shortstop, Larvell Blanks.
But a catcher having
For Sugar Bear, as coming in to score is Ike Blessit, and it's 7-1. Juice leading the Pelicans.
good piece of hitting. Ball hit up the middle. Looked like a little sinker away. And Larvell comes up with his second hit of the day.
For out number 2. Orlando scored first. They got a run in the first inning on an RBI base hit by 4-time batting champion Bill Madlock. They added 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 2 more in the sixth, and 1 in the top half of the 9th inning. Here's Gary Rajsich seeing a right-hander for the first time today. One of the runs by the Juice, a solo home run by Jose Cruz in the 6th inning. Rajsich pulls a grounder foul, and the count's 1-1. So it's been a delight this afternoon here in St. Petersburg. A gorgeous day. 1,028 on hand to watch the Pelicans take on the Orlando Juice. Called strike to Gary Rajsich, and the count's 1-2. So the line on Bob Shirley, 8 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run. He had 5 strikeouts and walked just 2. Called strike 3, and the ball game's over. So Doug Corbett comes out of the bullpen, hits the side 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Pelicans, managed by Bobby Tolan for the first time early in the Senior Professional League, taste defeat. 7-1 the final, Orlando over St. Petersburg. Noon here in St. Petersburg, Florida, the Orlando Juice defeat the St. Pete Pelicans 7-1. The Orlando Ball Club now with a 3-2 record, and for the first time in the Senior Professional League, the St. Petersburg Pelicans lose, and it was all Orlando and Bob Shirley today. Quite a performance by the left-hander. 8 innings, he allowed just 2 hits and 1 run, and he got some fine offensive support. The Juice jumped on the Pelicans early, picked up a run in the first inning on Bill Madlock's RBI single. In the third, they scored on Butch Benton's throwing error as Larvell Blanks came in to score as Benton fired one into second base with Butera, the runner at first, trying to steal. They got 2 more in the 4th inning, added a home run by Jose Cruz in the 6th, and a little insurance in the top of the 9th off Joe Zambito. So it was Matlack, Stewart, and Zambito pitching for the Pelicans today. And for the Orlando Juice, Bob Shirley in his 8 innings. And he was followed by Doug Corbett, who worked 1 inning. But right now, we have an opportunity with Gary Carter down on the field to talk with the Tulsa Oklahoman, Bob Shirley, who was magnificent today.
Yes, he was, Tommy. Thanks a lot. I have Bob here with me, and Bobby, you were trying for the complete game, but you threw outstanding. You had a perfect game going through 6 innings. How did you feel out there today?
Well, it was good to have the runs. That was the main thing. We hit the ball good all 3 games here, and we scored some runs early, and I was just trying to throw strikes, and you know, I got to give our guys a lot of credit for getting me the runs. Well,
strikes you did. You had 5 strikeouts in the game. We mentioned to your kids back in Oklahoma, Chuck, Clint, and Clay, that they were looking on, and you had said before the game you felt good. You were going to go out there and throw a gem, and that's what you did.
Well, I'm glad you said hi to my kids. You know, I hope they're watching. They're probably beating up each other, but you know, it was a good day to pitch, and just glad we had the runs.
Well, Raleigh Fingers made a comment that he said that with the start of the senior league going and all, that there would be only 3 complete games throughout this whole 72-game schedule. Do you believe that that's true?
I don't think so. You know, anytime, you know, I felt like I could finish the game today, but Dougie needed an inning to work. So, you know, we get a big lead like that. I don't see why there won't be some complete games. But, you know, Raleigh, Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, he might know better than anybody. He just wants to get the saves, is what. He's trying to get a senior league record for saves.
Well, you coached during the season here in '89, and near the end of each season, it does get a little bit cool. But coming down here to the St. Petersburg Sun and only having 2 weeks to really get yourself prepared to game competition and everything, did you feel that the heat, the weather had something to do maybe with your performance, keeping your arm a little looser than normal?
Well, you know, the weather was great today. It wasn't too hot. The main thing, it was we had a lot of long innings. I was sitting in the runway the whole, you know, in between innings, and we had some 30-minute innings, it seemed like. And I think that 1 inning and the 7th inning, I had a lot of, you know, a lot of time to wait between innings, and that kind of caught up to me. But the sun down here is going to be good. Some cool evenings will probably help the pitchers go longer, but it'd be enjoyable to have 2 days off tomorrow, though.
Well, are you looking forward to pitching every 3rd or 4th day and trying to get back into the major leagues? Are you utilizing this down here for any purpose to maybe get a call from some of the major league clubs?
No, I want to go to Disney World. No, I'm through playing baseball. I was a manager for a minor league team with the Toronto organization last year, and I enjoy doing that now. It's not any way for me to get back to the big leagues. I've had my fun up there, and hopefully I can teach somebody in the minor leagues to get up there. So I'm not looking forward. I don't know if some of these guys might be trying to, but it's a fun league. I've enjoyed it so far.
Well, that's great. Well, you showed a great performance today, Bob, and all the people back in Tulsa, Oklahoma, especially your kids, are quite happy. We're not going to Disney World, but we're throwing it back to the hut.
I have a wife, too.
Oh, you're your wife, too, of course. But you were talking about the kids watching it all today. But we're going back to the hut up in the booth. Thanks a lot.
All right, Gary and Bob Shirley, who just twirled an outstanding performance, and some of those young pitchers that he teaches could learn something by watching him today. As we check in on the standings now, the current standings, St. Pete 4-1, Orlando with their win today, a game behind the Pelicans, and Bradenton and Winter Haven both at 1-3. They're playing this afternoon. Those ball games not complete. That's a look at the Northern Division, and we will come back a little bit later, maybe check on the Southern Division, but right now we'll tell you the score once again this afternoon. The Orlando Juice, a 7-1 win against the St. Pete Pelicans. Final score once again from Al Lang Field here in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Orlando Juice 7, the St. Pete Pelicans 1. Bob Shirley over Jon Matlack as a couple of left-handers went at it today in Florida. Checking in on Senior Baseball League, we'll have a ball game for you Sunday afternoon, November 12th. It'll be the Winter Haven Super Sox, Bill Lee, their manager, against the Bradenton Explorers, managed by Cleet Boyer, and that'll start at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. So from sunny Florida, we have to leave, but we hope you join us again when we come toward you and at you with senior baseball here on the Prime Network. So for Gary Carter, I'm Tommy Hutton. Say it so long this afternoon.
Presentation